Hi,
Thanks.
everybody. Welcome to my session at a Women in Stage International Women's Day Conference 2025. And in my session, I will be sharing with you my journey to writing my first technical book. And I hope that this session is going to be an inspirational session to all of you watching this live during the conference, virtual conference happening today, or if even if you're watching this session recorded online later on after the conference. So I hope that you will be enjoying this session because this is actually my first time I'm creating a content about my own book writing journey, and it is my first time to deliver this talk also, especially for women on stage virtual conference this year. So I hope that you are sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying and excited to the session that I will be sharing with you, especially if you are someone that are if you're someone that is thinking about writing content in the form of a book, then I hope that my journey will be an inspiration to you. So, first of all, before I start, I want to share with you who am I? My name is Jonah Andersson. I work as someone with a lot of hats and roles in my head. And as you can see there in the presentation, it looks like a CV to you, but I'm a woman who likes to inspire technology and what I do to others. But as you can see, I work as a senior Azure consultant at Solidify. I have a lot of focus in cloud development, specifically .NET, DevSecOps, as well as Microsoft Azure as a cloud platform. And I also have a lead role of being the cloud infrastructure engineer architect in my major projects, as well as I am also a solopreneur where I have my own company, Jonah Andersson Tech, delivering IT trainings related to cloud and Azure. Aside from that, I am also a tech community leader and founder of Azure User Group Sweden. I am also a Microsoft certified trainer, a community lead, at least for this year, and also a Microsoft MVP for Azure, known as expert in cloud technologies such as Azure as a platform, and also teaching others on Microsoft related learning. And I am also very active in creating an inclusive community for women in tech as the co host of Extend Women in Tech podcast. So that's a bit of bit, but a compressed version of who am I, just to give you an introduction, especially if you haven't heard about me before. So I want to share with you about my book, actually, that is the reason or the topic of this session today. So I hope in the next 30 minutes, 25 minutes, I'll be able to inspire you with my own journey of writing this book, learning Microsoft Azure, cloud computing, and development fundamentals. And this is a book that is published internationally since December uh, over a year ago, December 2023. And it has been a year since the publication, and my book has been translated into six languages. And then when this came out, it won the best new cloud computing books by Book Authority. So when I first got my first copy, the result of my work, I was very happy. And it is a book that is written by me. There were contributors forward, afterward, as well as technical reviewers that was involved in this. But the book is about cloud computing. With focus on Microsoft Azure fundamentals and the technologies that it has. So it starts with it starts with the basics of cloud computing, and then it goes through the basics of Azure fundamentals. And inside the cloud platform itself, it has a lot of technologies inside it, separated or segmented into categories. So the first few chapters talks about compute, services in Azure. It talks about networking. It talks about DevSecOps. It talks about developer tools for those that are thinking about developing with Azure or cloud engineering. It also has the information that you need in terms of analytics, big data, AI, DevSecOps, and even well architected framework and cloud adoption in terms of migration, and a lot of preparation for you, especially those that are preparing for cloud certifications within Microsoft Azure, such as AZ 900, 204, or AZ 400. So this book is actually categorized as beginner to intermediate kind of level, which means that I decided to write this book actually unplanned, and you will know why with as I go through the story of this of my presentation today. It's unplanned, just like how I'm speaking to you right now, very spontaneous, not scripted, go with the flow, and it is a book that is actually the result of my own journey. So this book is my journey to becoming a published author that I did not expect to happen to me, because I love reading books, as you can see. I love reading books. I read from mostly nonfiction books and books that allows me to grow. English mostly, sometimes Swedish, but I love reading books. But I did not expect few years ago. I didn't expect that would end up to becoming a published author that you are seeing in front of you right now. So my cloud migration journey as a developer led me to have this book idea. So I was part in a cloud migration journey. I've been working in an IT consulting industry for at least 10 years. And years ago, when I was part of a cloud migration project to migrate a legacy application to the cloud, I was learning a lot of things, and not just cloud development, programming within .NET and with Azure, but I had learned a lot of different steps, from lift and shift, refactoring of the code, building new databases, building the new system so it would work to the cloud, led me to have an idea of writing this book, because of the challenges that we had, or I had, in that project, in terms of like knowledge and information that the team needed in order to have that cloud migration journey. So to make it short, I usually have my own talk about cloud migration strategy, specifically to my own journeys and lessons learned. But to make the long story short, I was like this Wonder Woman that you see right now. That's actually me dressed up as Wonder Woman during a fundraising in a Woman Who Code like event we had in a conference. But it was like this Wonder Woman who had the mission to lift a legacy application to the cloud, and that was a tough challenge, and that led me to a lot of cloud migration strategy and ideas that became my book. And all the things that you learned, that you will learn in the book, or those that have read it have learned in my book, is all about like learning the basics, at least the fundamentals and important things that you need to know when you are working with Microsoft Azure when it comes to cloud development or cloud migration. And it is intended for beginners. And the cloud migration didn't really make it to production because of, first, lack of like cloud readiness, lack of confidence in new technologies such as cloud back then, and also the immaturity in terms of how
a maturity of knowledge and how cloud is actually pretty safe and secure when it comes to hosting applications into modern cloud today. So because of that, I had thought that I will write a book about my experience in this cloud migration, and I would also consider writing the learnings that I have in a way that those that haven't touched or learned Azure development before will be able to gain knowledge from me to start with in their cloud migration journey, cloud engineering journey, regardless if they are a developer role in a developer role, IT architect, or business decision leaders. So the book is meant to be inclusive for everybody. So if you are someone that expects this book to be super advanced, unfortunately, this is not how I wanted my book to be. So those that have read it so far appreciated it. Even those that have experience with Azure thought that my book was well structured and well done. And this was the reason of it. And I didn't know. Actually, I had an idea because of that experience that I have. I had an idea. I want to write a book, but then I don't know what I didn't know what's the process of writing the book. So, to make the long story short, in the middle of the night, I thought I would I would reach out to a publisher and try to get some contact with someone and how I can write my book. So what I did is that since I have no knowledge at how to get started writing my book, I know I love reading, but I had never written a book before. So, but I do have this great idea in my mind. So one day I reach out to O'Reilly, which is the publisher of the book that I've chosen. Without a doubt, I knew it was O'Reilly because they have been known and have established their credibility in writing technical books. And I do read even before the thought of writing my book and even before I started working as a developer, I have been reading O'Reilly books, and I really like that they are in good they have built their credibility and they have good technical books with good authors. And also I really like that they use animals as their cover, since I'm very animal lover and nature lover as well. So how did my process of writing my book started? So I reached out to them middle of the night on their contact us. I didn't know anybody, and then I said, hey, I want to write a book. I just waited after I sent that contact us form. I never heard for a while from anybody in O'Reilly, and then I thought maybe I was too brave enough to reach out to O'Reilly and send them a short message that, hey, I have an idea for writing a book, and then I forgot about it. And then life moved on. I even forgot that I sent that message. So I ended up one day, I was checking my email, and then I saw there was an email from O'Reilly. Someone reached out to me and said, we saw your contact form, the one that you sent through our website. We want to hear your idea about writing a book about Microsoft Azure or cloud. So to make the long story short, I had a meeting, and then we had a discussion about my idea, and then I wrote my book proposal. And that book proposal means that as an author, you have your idea. You're going to decide what's the title. You're going to decide in the book proposal what's the subtitle of that, what kind of book it is, who are the audience or the readers of your book, and how many like chapters was I planning to write. And at that time I decided I'm gonna have 14 chapters, and also what topics I'm going to have, and what's the style of writing that I'm gonna have in that book. So from the start of the journey to the end of the journey, the book actually took almost 18 months for me. So, how did my workflow actually look like when I already got the project? So, first, you need to know, it's very, very important that you know your motivations. Why are you writing your book? And why you want to do it. And the reason why I did it is I already shared with you. It's because of the challenge that I had and the lessons that I had in my mind during the cloud migration journey as a developer. And I learned a lot. So once you have your why, you got your idea, you need to decide and find who is going to be your publisher. And there are so many book publishers depending on the type of book that you want to write. And then you also need to think, are you going to have a publisher that will help you through the process and take care of you, or are you going to do self-publishing, which is also a very good flexible options to those that don't want to deal with deadlines. So you can literally like self-publish your own book, write it, and then look for a self-publishing companies that can help you print out. Or you can do an open source kind of self-publishing where you have your own book and then you sell it in a cheaper price somewhere in some of the platforms that allows you to do that. But I myself decided I want to learn the right way and I want to learn the real process of book publishing. And O'Reilly has, as I said, has their credibility for that, and they're known for their technical books. And I decided I'll go for O'Reilly when they thought that my book proposal was pretty good to be a book project. So I signed the contract and I started my book project. It means that it's going to be a new project. I'm going to have my own timeline, like the title, the book proposal, all the things that I did. So the book proposal was, I believe, was about 15, 17, 18 pages where I listed out the names, the subtitle, description of the book, who is intended for, what is the goal of the book, chapters from 1 to 14, does what topics are going to be included in each of the chapter, and other sub subjects inside each of the chapter. So as you can see, book writing doesn't start with writing directly. It actually starts with planning. And of course, finding your why and motivation why you're writing your book. And the publisher, since I chose the path of having a publisher, they will help you and guide you through that process. So you would need to set up your planning in terms of how long you need to have to write the book, and then divide it into like mini sprints, you can call it, per chapters or deadlines. And then you have someone, a project leader that you work with within the publisher, like O'Reilly, for example, that you sync all the time and you communicate over time, all the time, just like a project that you iterate until it goes from the beginning phase until production. So a lot of time management, a lot of focus, a lot of writing required. And I did a lot of writing on my spare time, on the side of my full-time job and community work and speaking, which led me, instead of having the time frame of 1 year, I ended up writing my book a bit extra, extra for about 16 or 18 months because of the other things that I have to do on the side. But it was worth it, pretty worth it. So once you have your new project, you need to have to put in your ideas, your heart and passion, and into it, and then also the time as well. So once you are done with the first chapter, first few chapters, for example, it's gonna go through our review phase. So during the review phase, there will be technical reviewers that reviews chapters that you finish, and while they're reviewing, you continue with the next chapter. Actually, so it's like an iteration that you do, that I had to do on my spare time, and most of the time, those were like evenings after work. and also the weekends. So I had few summers that I didn't really get to enjoy because I had to sit on the computer writing and finishing up this project. So in the review phase, you keep writing and editing while the others are reviewing, the technical reviewers are reviewing. And once they have reviewed, left the review, as an author, you go through the comments and then you iterate. And then you keep editing and writing until you are done. And then once everything, the manuscript is complete from chapter 1 to 14, then you have the production phase that allows you to kind of like plan with technical reviews more. How is the book like grammar wise? And the reader's perspective. So there will be editors that will be involved. A lot of people that's gonna watch and read your books, early readers, people that I invited to read my book for the first time before it goes public, and also final editing, some illustrations I had to do. So I was sketching per hand, and then some graphic designers or like the design team at O'Reilly were able to help me with the illustrations. And then if there are changes to technologies, like for example, Microsoft technologies, names and terms, I have to fix it before the end of the before it gets published into printing. So once it's done, you wait. They send out the final manuscript. I got to know about. I got the final manuscript. I reviewed it. I'm the last to review it and see how it looks. And if all looks good for me and for everybody within the team project with the publisher, it's gonna be published and printed. And there's an early release online version in that phase. And usually the publication or printing goes somewhere where the publisher is working with, and then you come home with you get a physical copy and it's available in the bookstore, and then you're done with your project. But it doesn't end there because you have to kind of like market and help spread it out and share. So my book transformation, actually from the beginning, I got this cover because during the proposal you don't have the option, at least in O'Reilly I don't have the option to choose the animal cover. They have a special cover designer, and they design the cover of the book based on the date your book is going to be scheduled to be published. So which means that whenever it is done, I get a random good animal during that date. So I got a baby bird. I called it baby bird in the first four chapters. When the few chapters were early, it was out under platform. And then after, in the middle of the project, I found out what animal is it. So every time O'Reilly sends me the cover, I get excited because I am curious what animal it is, and I've researched and I found out that it's gonna be a bird, this bird, and I didn't know this bird until later on, when I was done with everything ready for production phase. I was actually on vacation in the Philippines when I found out I got my cover, the colored one, and it's the hyacinth Macau. And there you have seen the transition of hyacinth Macau, which is an endangered species or of a bird, which is the largest parrot in the world, and they are known to be very intelligent, very friendly. And I like that it's blue because blue is also my favorite color, and it happens to be the color of the cloud or Azure platform. So when I got my first book, I was very happy, and it looks like every time I hold it matches with my color style and the way I dress, because I do like this kind of blue, and people think that I have intentionally asked O'Reilly to have this cover, but it's not. It's actually, it's just became to be, and I really liked it because originally I wished to have a dog as an animal background, but it turned out pretty good because I do like hyacinth macaw as a bird, and you will be able to read more about this animal at the back of the book. So most O'Reilly books features endangered animals, and at the back of each of the O'Reilly book, there's actually a page dedicated about the animal. So if you have a copy of my book, don't forget to read my final words as author and even the afterword or foreword. and read what I wrote at the end, including the facts about this book. So, my animal cover, when I did my first book signing in Chicago, Microsoft Ignite, I was very happy when O'Reilly surprised me that they have my bird, the bluebird, at their booth at Microsoft Ignite, where I happened to have my book signing first in big conference in person book signing, and as well as like I really wanted to see the bird, real one, but I couldn't see it because they are endangered. They're only in South America and some of the zoos, maybe. So I ended up buying this small miniature of hyacinth macaw instead. And then how long did it take for me in total? Yeah, counting the editing, the process of back and forth, more or less almost 2 years or 18 months. A lot of things in the journey that I have. In the middle of my journey, I was very close to giving up, especially when it gets too stressful with the back and forth tech reviews and a lot of stresses in there. But I am very glad that I did not give up on this writing journey because I made it to the end of its publication. It took time and I was very slow, especially when you have this like procrastination and you don't have time, you don't have the motivation, you don't have the energy, and you don't have the sometimes you get that writer's block that actually happens. So really important to have that consistency and discipline. But I was able to make it to the end. And I had those challenges, as I said, challenges of finding time, challenges of toggling between back and forth writing, and also the challenges of encountering of adapting to the change, because the book took almost 2 years, but the topics that I wrote about can change as well. The support, the features of that, and the naming of those technologies were also changed. So there's a lot of puzzles that I have to sync and connect as the author of that book, but I did conquer it. And I also had some friends in the community that helped me in terms of contributing their expertise and challenge as well, expertise and their contributions like expert quotes and their forward and their early reader reading feedback and all of that was really valuable. So O'Reilly team has been very helpful to me, and I'm very glad that I got a good team that were working with me side by side from the start phase up to the production phase of my book project. And not bad for the first project that I did with O'Reilly, and also my first book. I'd never written a book before, but now I did. I have one. And what did I learn? I mean, I want to give at least a few. I had learned a lot, but I'm going to highlight some of my top 5 lessons before we summarize this session. So I learned that I needed to meet the deadlines, but also needed to be kind to myself. It means that you have deadlines, but it's your book, it's your journey. Be kind to yourself, and don't let us pressure you. It should be a learning journey together. And if you have challenges, feel free to collaborate with your publisher that you're having challenges in finding time to write. And next is being humble and being uniquely you with your master piece, which is your book, your idea. You're writing it into paper or you're writing your masterpiece, and it matters that you are creating your project or building your masterpiece in your own way, and try to be humble with yourself and humble with the things that you do as well. And then write what you are passionate to share about. That is very important. Expect good and bad reviews. You get that, of course. I mean, most of the reviews I got were pretty good, but when your book is out, there are always people that gonna say negative things about it because they expect something else. So expect that. And of course, regardless if you have like people's feedback, people's like input on the process of the book, you have to remember that I am the author of my own book. You are the author of your own work, and you decide what you want to write. Of course, you need to get it validated and verified, but you are the master of your own masterpiece. So, how did it go over a year? So, over a year, my book is now translated in several languages. As you can see, recently it's been translated in Japanese, and it's pretty good. So I also had a chance to have book signing actually with fellow Microsoft MVP professionals that wrote their own books as well. So my book are actually in the Microsoft library. So this was the pictures that we had last year, and I did was able to meet co-authors. I mean, authors that wrote at the same publishing company that I have here, so such as O'Reilly. So it was really inspiring to see how other authors did their great job in their own books and also synergize with them that way. So these are like I did a lot of book signing, and I think I did hundreds, lots of books out, both at conferences, at Microsoft Library, Microsoft Ignite last year, international tech conference, home. Even in hotel lobbies when people wants to sign their book, and hallways at the conference. So when they have a copy and they bring it with them and they wanted a picture, so that's truly inspiring. And I want to end this talk actually that once you have decided to have your own journey of book writing, I hope that my own journey have inspired you, at least give you an inspiration and the steps that you need to do, regardless if you're doing it through a publisher or you're gonna self-publish. And as I said, just learn and have fun with the journey. And if you want to check out my book, there's an ebook version, there is a paper book version, and there are different languages translated with this book as well. Feel free to scan the QR code, and if you want a signed copy, of course, you would need to go through me. So feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to this short like talk about my book writing journey. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me by scanning this QR code. I'm on LinkedIn, and follow me there if you have any thoughts, and reach out if you have questions as well related to this session.